Hi, I'm Luz today, and I love to talk about movies 24/7. I've been fascinated with films as long as I can remember, and I upload weekly. Today, I'm going to be ranking some of the movies I didn't get the chance to review. Sorry, I've been away for a while, just a lot of life stuff going on. But I just wanted to give you guys a catch up of what I've watched. I'm going to rank them and grade them as I go along. All right, let's get right into it. Starting out with number 13, Exorcist Believer. Is the bottom. This movie was really bad. I was kind of excited for it because it looked actually I thought the trailer was actually pretty good. But this movie was just so bland and generic, and they just treated some of the characters so bad, like the legacy characters. And that ending was almost laughable of how they try to resolve the situation. It's just like so bland and boring and generic. There's nothing new, nothing special with it. Great lead performance from the lead actor. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but he did an amazing job. Everything else was just so bland and generic. It had some decent scenes and some decent scares. But besides that, it was just really bland, boring and generic, and just definitely a waste of time. I'm not looking forward to the other ones. Just completely laughable and ending and very forgettable. I'd give it a C minus, being generous. Next up, Killers of the Flower Moon. This is definitely a hot take. I did not like this movie. I definitely 100% respect Martin Scorsese telling this very important story, and just like diving into it, this like a very long runtime, just like giving all the details. I think that actors were amazing performances, amazing directing. And I think that it's really important to tell a story, but this should have been a mini-series. This should not have been a movie. For me, it was just rinse and repeat the same exact thing for like 3 hours and 30 minutes. Just kept on doing the same thing 3 hours and 30 minutes. It just doesn't translate well into a film, in my opinion. It should have been a mini-series on like HBO or something. I just really don't think this movie worked. At least for me, I know a lot of people loved it, but I know there's a section of people that didn't like it. And I think I had a lot of issues, and I'm one of those people. I didn't hate it. I just thought it was really boring and generic. I thought they could have handled it differently. I think this movie was like an hour or even an hour and 3 minutes shorter. It would have been way better. They just made it too long. Because like I said, it was just the same thing over and over again. It should have been a show. I respect what they're doing, what he's trying to do, and I just don't think this important story translated into a film. Glad it was made. I'm glad people liked it, but just not for me. I just think it should have been handled differently. Again, I would have to go with a C minus with this one. Next up, Five Nights at Freddy's. I was very excited for this one. I'm not like a gigantic Five Nights at Freddy's fan or anything. But I did watch some like YouTube videos back in the day, and I looked up some lore and stuff. I'm a big fan of Josh Hutcherson and Matthew Lillard. I thought the animatronics looked amazing from the trailer, so I was like, and I really tend to like a lot of Blumhouse horror movies. Some are bad, but a lot of them I do like. So I was like, okay, pretty excited. But that being said, this is a really bizarrely generic movie. I did like the performances from Josh Hutcherson and Matthew Lillard. Again, the animatronics look great. The lead girl was good. Had some, decent scenes, like some pretty gory scene for like a PG-13 movie at the beginning. I just don't think that this movie worked. It just like how it was written. It just didn't feel like real people were talking. It just felt like a weird fever dream. I mean, there's a lot of dream sequences in this movie. There's like a fort scene that felt like just a weird, bizarre fever dream. I just couldn't believe what I was watching. It just felt like completely bizarre. I think that, the sets and everything were good, but the writing was really bad, and the dialogue was really bad, which just tanked this movie for me. Like I said, I liked aspects of it, but it was just really bizarre. It just all these pieces didn't mesh, and there's not enough Matthew Lillard. Some of the stuff at the end was pretty cool, but overall, I can't recommend it. I would overall give it a C. Yeah, not for me. Next up is the Marvels. The mighty have fallen. MCU has been pretty bad lately. A lot of disappointments. For me, Doctor Strange 2, Thor 4, and several others. This is another one. This is kind of like the last straw. Like, I was so into the MCU before, like up until Endgame and like a little after, because it was my favorite franchise. I kept on everything. This Disney Plus shows has tanked it. There's just too many bad ones. Just quantity over quality. I didn't even finish Secret Invasion. I didn't even start Loki season 2. I heard it's amazing. I'm just burnt out on the MCU because Ant-Man 3 was bad too. I just don't care anymore. I was even disappointed by Guardians 3, even though people loved it. I think it's a good movie, but I was disappointed by it. I didn't think it had any stakes for a Last Guardians movie. But this one, I just think it's just an utter disaster. They're trying to cram like all these different characters and shows from like Miss Marvel, WandaVision, even like maybe even Secret Invasion and Captain Marvel, put it all in one movie. Have this body switching thing, which was fun mostly. But the script and story were just terrible. It just felt like a bad Disney Plus movie. It had some really cringy moments, and I won't spoil this. It's just involving singing, and then there's like involving like the character of Goose. There's not much work for me. It just like kind of random scenes, put together. Just keeps on going. This like rant. They're just trying to interject jokes, and there's no stakes. It's most of the humor doesn't land. This is not much interesting going on in this movie, and even the post credit scenes, like people are hyped for. The first one I did like. There's technically only one post credit scene, but there's like a scene at the very end that feels like a post credit scene. Definitely like that one. The next one, like the middle one, could have worked, but there's CGI that was so bad it looked like a cartoon character in a live action movie. So I just couldn't get excited, and I got spoiled beforehand too, so that might have been a part of it, to be fair. But yeah, I just can't get excited for a lot of MCU movies, except Deadpool 3. I'm excited for Deadpool 3 and like Secret Wars and all that, but other MCU projects I can't get excited for because they keep on disappointing me. So this movie was just an utter mess. I'd give it a C. It was fun enough, but it was just like a mess, and it was just disappointing. Alright, next up is Saltburn. I was very excited for this movie after seeing the trailer. I actually watched the trailer a lot. That's what I do when I'm really excited for a movie. Amazing performances from Barry Keoghan and Jacob Elordi. Sorry if I probably butchered both of those names. Sorry about that. Rosamund Pike. I really liked the first half of this movie. I really liked it. I liked the setup and how it was going. I think it was really well done, well acted, well directed. This beautiful atmosphere, all the mixture of colors. It just looked amazing. Had some really witty dialogue. Just really liked how it was going. But that being said, the second half I thought was actually pretty terrible. It just completely lost me. It got too weird, too bizarre, too disgusting for my taste. It's just completely lost me, and the ending I thought was absolutely terrible. I know people respect it. Like, I respect it for doing something different, doing something weird. That's cool, but it just wasn't for me. Like the second half of this movie, the first half had some weird stuff too, but it just went too far in the second half for me. I just like there's no one really to root for. There's just too many twists and turns. I didn't care for. Like I said, I really enjoyed the first half. Second half really tanked it for me. But I would just have to go in the middle on this one. I give it a C+. A lot of people liked it, so check it out if you get the chance. But I know a lot of people didn't like the ending, and a lot of people did, so people are just mixed on it. Next up, It's a Wonderful Knife. I love movies like this that take like a classic movie premise and turn it into like a horror movie, like Freaky with Freaky Friday, Happy Death Day movies with Groundhog Day. Totally Killer just did it with Back to the Future. This was basically the concept of It's a Wonderful Life, but a slasher whodunit version. So this movie's kind of a mess, but it's fun. I liked it. It's really just kind of like discombobulated, but it's a fun enough movie for me. I think the slasher killer's costume is really cool, really unique. I like the lead character and the second lead character. I won't try to spoil too much in case you haven't seen it. I don't know, a lot of people probably haven't, kind of flew under everyone's radar. But Yeah, I think it was a fun enough movie. It kind of doesn't make sense. The ending is kind of just like a fever dream. You don't know what's happening, but I think it was good enough. Had a good whodunit element. Had some good scenes, some funny moments, some good kills, pretty decent ending. Like I said, it's not an amazing movie. I probably like it more than most, but it's fun. It's enjoyable. I had a good time with it for what it was, even though it was kind of a mess. I'd give it a B minus. Check it out if you're really into those types of movies I just mentioned. Next up, Thanksgiving, another holiday horror movie. I wasn't like too excited for this movie because I thought it was gonna be bad, to be honest. But because I'm usually not a fan of Eli Roth type of horror movies. Love horror, favorite genre, but I don't really like all these gory gory horror movies that are just gory, like no character development, all that. But that being said, I like this one. I think it had an amazing opening. That was probably one of the most creative horror openings I've seen in a while. I really respected, like, I was like, oh, this is a cool opening. I was like, this is a really good idea for an opening. The characters are kind of lacking, to be honest. Except like maybe the lead, she was fine, I guess. But it's not really about that, to be honest. It's more about the kills and like, or, like I said, I don't particularly like that, but this one worked for me. Had some really crazy kills, really gory, like really intense. I really like what they did with the killer. The whodunit element was really good. I did guess what was happening, and I did figure out everything. But it was a good mystery. They like gave you good breadcrumbs to figure it out. But yeah, like I like the costume, like his like motivation, like who he goes after and who he doesn't. It's very unique and creative. I like the ending. So there's one part that absolutely kind of makes no sense, like how like two characters end up at the same spot. I won't spoil it. But yeah, a fun movie. They're planning a second one, which I'm down to see. I didn't think it was amazing. I just thought it was really solid slasher. That it's like I started getting the slasher movies when I was a kid. So if this came out when I was a kid, it probably would have been one of my favorites. So that's definitely a high praise. I really enjoy this one. I give it a B. Next up is EXmas. I literally just watched this one this morning. I had no idea this movie even existed until I watched Sean Sandler's ranking of movies he did in November. He's a popular movie reviewer. So yeah, I saw this on there. I was like, yeah, I feel like watching a Christmas movie. I'm a big fan of Robbie Amell from the Arrowverse. So I was like, yeah, let's watch it. And it's on Freevee, so I wasn't expecting much. So if it's on Freevee, I mean, can't really expect too much. But this was a fun movie. It's a good little Christmas movie. It had some solid laughs, enjoyable characters, pretty witty, pretty funny. Had some good dramatic moments. It's just like a very digestible, fun Christmas movie. It's just nothing more, nothing less. It's just a Freevee Christmas movie. That's all it is. It's just about, two exes just bickering at a family get together and just like them like trying to one up each other. So it's just that kind of movie. It's enjoyable. It's fun. It's heartfelt. It's a Freevee Christmas movie. And if you don't know what Freevee is, it's like a Amazon streaming service that's free, like kind of like Crackle or stuff like that. But yeah, I thought it was fun. It was a good movie. I would end up giving it a B. It was a good movie. Next up, Dream Scenario. I was pretty excited to see this one after seeing a trailer because I'm a big Nicolas Cage fan. And this seems like a cool premise. It's about this completely ordinary, kind of boring college professor. And then people start having dreams about him. And it starts out kind of slow and then it goes crazy out of control. I won't go too far into plot in case you haven't seen it. But yeah, it's actually a horror comedy, which I didn't realize going in. I mean, the trailer kind of hints that. But it's a different kind of horror comedy. It's kind of like the horror comedy being in his shoes and how scary that situation would be, like dealing with it. It had some really funny moments. Some of the dream sequences are actually pretty creepy. Nicolas Cage has amazing performance. Like I said, he's one of my favorites. But he has a really good, a surprisingly good performance in this movie. It really landed. I really felt bad for him at times. And sometimes I was like, yeah, I mean, you gotta have it coming. It's like, he's kind of hard to root for it at sometimes, but you still feel bad for him because he didn't really do anything wrong. But I won't get into it. But yeah, just a cool movie. Didn't love where it ended. It got a little too depressing and bleak in my opinion. I thought it was gonna be more fun, based off the trailer, but it gets kind of like bleak and depressing, which is fine. But I just wasn't expecting. I was expecting more, comedy and fun, which you get that. But yeah, good comedy, good drama. Has a pretty bleak ending, but it ended on a decent note. Again, I would give it a B. Pretty good. Next up is Priscilla. This is based off the memoir of Priscilla Presley, based on her like real life with Elvis, and just like his experience with him. And this definitely shines a different light on Elvis. If you're a big Elvis fan, this definitely shows the more negative side of him. I won't get too much into it in case you don't want to know anything, but definitely shows like the other side of Elvis, like his bad side. So you get to see it from her perspective. Amazing performances, amazing directing from Sofia Coppola. The movie looked absolutely amazing. I absolutely loved how it looked. Like amazing set design. The two lead performances from Jacob. I can't think of the actress that plays Priscilla, her name off the top of my head, but they're both phenomenal. Amazing performances. It's kind of a hard watch because you're kind of watching someone almost in an abusive relationship. Let's be honest here. So it's not like a fun movie. Obviously, it's just kind of like watching, just like a biopic of someone that went through like a really rough time and how they got through it, basically. But yeah, I thought it was a good movie. It was solid. Definitely, two really good A24 movies, Dream Scenario and Priscilla. Definitely very well done. I give it a B as well. Next up is Saw X. I'm a big fan of the Saw franchise. I actually held it off for a while because I was like, I don't want to watch these movies about people being tortured. I was like, I don't care. But before Jigsaw came out, I binged all of them. I ended up really enjoying them. Didn't hate any of them. I just really like the twists and turns and the whodunits and all the reveals and stuff and the theme song. I loved all of that. So I was actually pretty excited to see this one because I heard it was really first on John Kramer, him being like an anti-hero. And it was really good. It had some really solid kills. You feel sympathetic for John because he's really wronged, and the people that he's going after definitely deserve it. They're absolutely terrible, garbage human beings. It had some solid kills, really good character development. Really like the relationship between John and Amanda. And there's this other character that gets involved at the end. I thought it was interesting. I won't spoil it in case you haven't seen it by now, but terrible villains. They're good villains, but they're terrible. They're absolutely terrible. You definitely want to see them go down. You definitely root for John. You get him in the lead role finally in his own franchise, which is kind of bizarre. Has a cool post-credit scene. So yeah, just a really solid, really good Saw movie. Definitely top 3 Saw movies for me. I'd probably put like third best. So I give this one a B+. Next up is Totally Killer. I talked a lot about this a little bit earlier when I was talking about horror movie concepts with a classic movie of this. So this is Back to the Future, but slasher whodunit version, and I really liked it. So when I heard this movie was coming out, I was super, super excited. I was like, oh, this sounds amazing. It's about a girl that's from 2023. She ends up time traveling back into I believe it was 86 or 87. I'm pretty sure it's 87. She travels back to 87. There's a slasher killer. She teams up with her mom and her friends to take down the slasher killer. I was like, that sounds amazing. I watched her. I was like, oh man, this looks terrible. I was like, I don't think it's gonna be good. I wasn't laughing or anything. I was like, oh man, I was excited. I thought it was just a bad trailer, I guess, because I thought the movie was awesome. I ended up watching it twice. I watched it by myself, then I watched it with some friends. They really dug it too. Just a great performance, lead performance from Kiernan Shipka. I thought the slasher mask was ridiculous, but it kind of worked. It was pretty cool. Salka's really funny, really good story, really good concept. I really like how it ended. I predicted some stuff. I didn't guess the killers either. So I usually pretty good at guessing, and I didn't guess who the killer was. I really enjoyed it, how it was written, how it played out. Really funny, really unique, really witty. Her just trying to use 2023 logic in the 80s when certain things didn't exist yet. So I thought that really worked, and I like the final battle scene. all just is some really just cool kills, really funny, entertaining, unique, some heartfelt moments. So I honestly really loved it. I give that one a A-. All right, coming in number 1 is The Holdovers. I honestly was holding off to see this movie. I thought the trailer looked good. I was like, can't be that good. And I was hearing so much buzz. And I was like, I heard it was really, 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 really good. Like it's like the new Christmas classic. I was like, okay, I gotta see it now. So I ended up seeing it. I'm so glad I did. I saw it in theaters the other day. It's just like it's like a new Christmas classic. It really is. It's a feel good Christmas movie. I know the director doesn't feel that way, but man, it feels like that. It's basically about a kid and some other students at a school that they left behind over the Christmas holiday, and this really strict, hard-ass professor is watching over them. And there's this cook lady that recently lost her son, and it's kind of about them bickering and slowly getting along. I won't tell you too much in case you watch it, but the way it plays out and how far it goes, and like it's just so funny and so heartfelt. I was laughing several times. The dialogue's amazing. The directing's amazing for Alexander Payne. Really does feel like you're watching a 70s movie. They even use some like I don't know what you call it, tropes or just like imagery from 70s movies, like how it starts and just like how it looks, and it's just extremely well written. It's like a slow burn. I was never bored though. I was like engaged from beginning to end. I just thought it was very interesting, very funny, very unique. When I was watching, I was like, this is an A+ movie, and I was like, just don't disappoint me. And it just kept on getting better and better, and like the ending almost made me cry, and it was just like so good and so heartfelt. It's like a great character piece. It's a movie you don't get anymore. Just a great Christmas movie. I honestly probably end up watching this every Christmas now. That's how good it is. Just really like the 3 lead characters. Paul Giamatti was good, and the other 2 leads were fantastic. Just so many great emotional moments, so funny moments. I ended up really loving this movie. It's like my top 3 of the year so far. So The Holdovers is absolutely fantastic, phenomenal movie. Please watch it. Definitely an A+. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. I do have a bunch of reviews I do plan on getting out soon, because it is December. A lot of good stuff coming out, so I'll get that to you guys very soon. And you guys have a great day and take care. Bye.